All right. We'll go ahead and get the meeting rolling for the June meeting of the Barnstable Municipal Water Supply Board. As always, this meeting is being recorded and broadcast on the Town of Barnstable Government Access Channel in accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, Chapters 30A, Section 20. The chair must make an inquiry whether anyone else is recording this meeting, and if so, to make their presence known. All right. This meeting can be replayed via Xfinity Channel 8 on High Definition Channel 1072. It may also be accessed via the Government Access Channel live video on demand archives on the Town of Barnstable's website, and that is a URL of long and complicated, but you can find it on the Town of Barnstable website. So first up for the meeting is approval of the agenda. Does anyone have anything they wish to add?
No, I don't.
I do not either.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I move to approve the agenda
Thank you.
as written.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Next up, approval of the minutes from the previous meeting.
I have no changes. So I move to accept the minutes as they are written.
I will second that.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, Kevin, operations report.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone.
Hi, Kevin.
All right. Let's start off with Monday, the 5th of May. We had, excuse me, Ken Maltese and Associates in alongside of our electrician to start our annual predictive maintenance program. Last month, I mentioned that we had preventatively discovered an excessive heat issue on a clear well pump number 3 at the Mayer treatment plant. That enabled us to get it addressed and ultimately repaired prior to failing. This is what the program and all the costs associated with it accomplish in real time. In my experience, there are not a lot of municipalities that are being this proactive about maintenance, and it's a pleasure working for a department that is this forward thinking. We just had the new motor installed yesterday, as a matter of fact. So that'll be back in, and I mean that's what this is all about, is a quick turnaround. And had it been, during high demand, we're getting there, but we're not quite there yet. So it's super important that you guys are in favor of this and keep funding it. So thank you. We'll start with us Sunday, the 11th of May. On-call staff was responding to a call at 592 Main Street for a report of water leaking. It was discovered after a short investigation that the leak was on the street side of the curb, and ultimately the responsibility is on us. We contracted our emergency contractor, Bortolotti, to handle the repair. They discovered it was an indeed leak on the street side of the curb stop. It was a 1.5-inch service that was repaired and placed back into service. The 21st, Wednesday, we were on site at 210 North Street to perform an inspection of a cut and cap, the old existing water services. Dirtworks was the contractor on site performing the work. 22nd, Activated Carbon Company was back in town to perform another exchange on Mary Dunn number 2 lead vessel. The exchange went off without a hitch, and standard operating procedures were followed with filling the vessels and then collecting our 2 samples. John Roberts and Lloyd from Activated Carbon have forged a very good working relationship during these exchanges, which makes things run a heck of a lot smoother. Friday the 23rd. As a thank you to the staff for all their hard work for this year, we decided to celebrate a little bit with a restful afternoon and a pizza party prior to the Memorial Day holiday weekend. However, the Hyannis Water System had other ideas when we received a call during the luncheon and had to go investigate a water break at Tracy Volkswagen. One of our staff members begrudgingly went out, put his pizza down, and went out and investigated and reported back it was, in fact, not a water break, but a service break on the owner's side of the curb stop. The curb stop was turned off, an approved contractor list was provided, and they also hired Bortolotti to perform the repairs. Wednesday the 28th, our staff was called back out to 210 North Street, this time to perform an inspection of a new 2-inch service. Dirt Works installing contractor, service was inspected. They were allowed to backfill the service. Next stop would bring us to 116 Ridgewood Drive for a report of a surface leak at that property. Quick investigation revealed that the leak was on the owner's side of the curb stop, and we explained the process of how to handle it. Bortolotti, once again, was called in to make repairs. In the month of May and June are typically used to ensure that all the deliverables are caught up and completed before the end of the town's fiscal year. We have staff out every day exercising valves, AWA inspection, flushing hydrants. These are some of the examples of the types of work that continue no matter what time of the year or season. So the executive summary might seem a little short, but it was definitely not in retrospect. A couple pictures on the other page. 210 North Street with the service and fire hydrant installation. We got the Mary Dunn bike path that's been chugging along. Happy to report that is up and running on both sides right now. So the next portion of it's going to be basically isolating the old piece of the main so they can continue to do their work on the bike path and move on from there. Our deliverables on this, it's showing. So meters as of today, meters are done. And I think AWWAs, I think we have maybe 1 or 2 left of those. We are done, I think, flushing as of tomorrow. Hydrant painting's been done. Valve inspections are really close. I think we're under 10 on those. Let's see. Everything else on so I guess the long story is that all the deliverables will be 100% by the 1st of July. And the 2 hydrants we had still laid out, they were going to get done today. They were scheduled to get done, but a water break that formed out on Iana Road had different plans for Bortolotti. So they attacked that, and they're going to knock those 2 hydrants out tomorrow. And then one other thing that's not in the report, but you'll be getting a little bit more information on it in the next month's report, was the town was issued an NON, which is a violation from the state. It was due to a sampling mistake, and it actually was not on Veolia's part. Unfortunately, it was kind of out of our hands. We took the original sample for HAA5s and THMs, and we're required to take them the first part of May. So we did that on 5/13. We issued them to the lab, and the lab, I guess they were doing something with their process in-house, so they subbed them out to a surrogate lab, and it turned out that the QA/QC came back, which was it was out of hold time, so they couldn't run the samples. And of course, we learned of this on the 3rd of June, which basically put us out of compliance with the state because of the reporting time. So the town, after some debate with the state and back and forth, and they basically said that, it's our ultimate responsibility to track these things from the time we take them to the time they return. So obviously our apologies, and a tad bit embarrassed by it, but it truly wasn't on Veolia 100%. So, but you'll get more on that, and really all it is tier 3 public notice in our CCR for next year, and that's it.
Oh, Kevin, thank you for being upfront and honest on that. I'm sorry to hear that your subcontractors messed you up, but thanks for taking it.
No problem.
Glad to see that things are moving along really well, and you're basically close to done on all your deliverables. It looks like the finances are doing pretty well. We're recovering from the billing error, and long overdue stuff is down a little bit. So think overall pretty good. Louise, You look like you want to say something. You're on mute, though.
I have animals in the background, so I have to stay on mute. But no, um, what Sam said, I agree with. You guys have done a good job.
Yeah.
You know, you guys are,
Thank you.
yeah. And this snafu with the sampling, that was really out of your hands. So, but
Yeah.
you bear the responsibility of it, I guess. But
Yeah, as the third party contractor, we gotta take hits. Unfortunately, this is a lab that we do a lot of business with, and it's not gone unnoticed. So we've had
okay,
extensive discussions with the lab. Hans and I actually had a talk about it today, and we're gonna try and get some fail safes put into place. So hopefully this doesn't happen again in the future. But
yeah,
ultimately, at the end of the day, these things do happen. Unfortunately, it happened to us. So
yeah, understandable.
Yeah. Hans, you have something you'd like to?
Yeah, I just got informed that we need to do a roll call vote for the minutes because we're on Zoom.
Oh,
If we were
In person.
in
Okay.
person, you could just do a yay with your hand raised. But because
Huh.
it's on Zoom, we have to do a roll
that's-
call vote. That's all.
all right. I'll tackle that in a second once we get done
Sure.
with Kevin. Um. All right. Anyone else have questions for Kevin? I mean, you guys are doing great.
we appreciate
All
it.
right.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right, folks. Have a nice night. Thank you.
You
All right.
too.
All right. Well, since we need to do a roll call vote for minutes, let's go back and undo that. I'm just going to redo the whole minutes thing just to be safe. So, is there a motion to
Yep.
approve the minutes from April
For
or May?
April,
Excuse me, May.
May.
May. My bad.
I move to
Can't.
accept the minutes from May
All right.
2021.
I will second that. All right, Louise,
Yay.
Tim,
Yay.
Patrick,
Yay.
and me, yay. Sam, yay. All right. Sorry about that, everybody. All right, next up, water quality report. So every year, so this is for you, Patrick. Every year we produce and send out to all of our customers a water quality report as required by the DEP. It has lots and lots of data in it. Hans will probably tell us a little bit more about that. 90% of this is language and verbiage required by the state. I think we get to choose about that much right there. Nice picture we got of the new Mary for Well building in the air, and some other stuff. So, Hans, what would you like to add about this before we have to vote to approve this?
Um, Basically, it's pretty much the same as what you just said. I would say 95 till 98% of this is all prescribed by Mass DEP. It's required language with the data that we
Mhm.
have. The only part that we have any input in is the 2024 Hyannis water system improvements. And the pictures, and that's about it. Most interesting part of it is, I would say, would be um, on the backside where you see all the laboratory data, and there's basically only one violation there, which was
Yep.
a last summer's E. coli hit, and that ended up on Mary Dunn 1, the raw. So that's before chlorination, before anything. And that ended up, we shut that well down, we chlorinated it, and that came back clean before we put it back in service. But just like the oops with what you just heard, it needs to be mentioned as a tier 3 notification in the water quality report. So you see uh, a little write-up about it right on the top of all these tables.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So similar with that laboratory oops that you just
Yeah.
that Kevin just talked about. It's going to be similar to that next year. So you'll see that. Besides that, yeah, the numbers are the numbers. That's what they are. And the biggest thing to keep a close eye out is not PFAS. PFAS, I think we're doing pretty good. It's the salt issue. So keep
Yeah.
a close
Yep.
issue on that. That's going to be our future problem. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, does anyone else from the board have questions on this? Things they want to bring up?
Hans, I do have a question here. It said that the Hyannis water system was commended by the Mass DEP for posting water protection signs, acquiring and protecting land within Zone 1 areas and working with town environment. Is that boilerplate that's been always in there, or
It's been in there since I'd say for at least 15 years.
Okay, I guess I never saw it.
So
I've
Sorry,
seen the signs.
so I
I
can
see the signs.
you
I
can
didn't
see the
know of
signs.
something new.
It's nothing new.
Okay.
We
Okay, so
always
that's
are doing a good job, right?
right. Okay.
All right. Patrick, do you have anything? Tim?
All I can say
All
from the
right.
laundry aspect, it's been a great year
Glad to hear that.
from the water quality standpoint. Yeah.
Great. Great. All right. Well, and then I think what we have to do is we have to do a roll call vote, correct, Hans?
Yes.
All right. So is there a motion to approve the annual water quality report for 2024?
I move to accept the water quality report for 2024?
24, yeah.
Yes.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Patrick. All right. For the roll call vote, Louise,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
and I'll vote yes as well. All right. And those will go out in quarterly bills and will be available at the office, right?
Actually, they need to be in customers' hands before July 1st. So
Okay.
they will get a separate mailing. And
Okay.
they're going to be printed this week and probably mailed out next week. And then they're going to be available at the library, at town hall, DPW, the water supply division. I think the senior center. There's a bunch of places where we're
Yeah.
going to have these, and of course, it's going to be posted on the website too.
Great. All right. Next up, Matt. Thank you for waiting for us to do that.
Yeah, no problem. Hold on.
Did
I'm
you
in
just
the
lose the
office
lights in it?
and wants to shut the lights off on me.
No worries, Matt.
I'll save everybody the view of the front of my pants after last week's incident. Anyways, good evening, everybody. How are we all doing? I'm happy
Good.
to
How are
say
you?
that we're starting off better
Good.
than last time. Happy to start running through the weekly updates with you. So item number
Okay.
1 is our new well exploration program, the 4th phase of that. Still no movement on this project. I know that that's probably getting a little bit old to hear after the last couple meetings, but we're still just in a holding pattern on this.
That's not on you guys. That's a political thing now.
I know, but I feel like I own some of that. I know that I don't, but
You don't
anyway,
really.
item number 2 is our pilot testing project and for the Mary Dunn well and the airport well. We still have no change on this project at the current moment. We are still just kind of wrapping up through the Straightway project, getting that out through bid this past month and bids accepted. So we're going to be getting back into this project and re-engaging with the Kleinfelder team now that we're starting to wind down on the design side with that. Item number 3 is the new straightway water treatment facility and replacement of the Hyannisport and Simmons Pond well buildings. We've had a lot of movement over on this project over the last month, with some good news mixed in with that as well. Really, right now we're kind of in a holding pattern while we wait for the town council process to play out for the supplemental appropriation request. Fortunately, we did have bids come back, and our low qualified apparent contractor was Daniel O'Connell Sons, who came back under what we were originally projecting. So some great news coming back with that. Other than that, we're working through a requirement from the Mass DEP Southeast Regional Office for the replacement of the Hyannisport well. We're required to reach out to any abutters or property owners within the new wells Zone 1 area and notify them that if they're willing to engage with us and grant the town a conservation restriction on their property for the portion within the 400-foot buffer zone, that we would like to have those discussions with them. This was a requirement from the CRO office before they would permit us to replace the Hyannisport well. So we've gotten that approved by DPW management and through the town lawyer's office as well. At this point, we're getting ready to send these out this week via certified mail, and I'm listed as the main contact should any of these homeowners ask to reach out and learn more about the process. Other than that, we'll be sending off a copy of the letter and the certified mailing list to Mass DEP just so that they are aware that we've met their requirement and see if we can move forward with getting that replacement well permit approved. Happy to answer any questions you guys may have so far.
Matt, if anything I can do to help you with that, if you have people that, as a more political person, I'm happy to help out.
Okay, thank you, Sam. Hi, Hans.
Yeah.
I have an addition to that. Just during this process, a lot of issues got discovered, and especially how to go about this. And what we found out, and Sam was part of that discussion too. What we found out is that, Matt, you will be getting the calls from these homeowners, but then it will go to the legal team and David Anthony, who is the director of the asset management department of the town. And then they will be having the negotiations and conversations with the property owners. So that is the way this is going to go, and that's also clarifying for us because we didn't know who in the town and what the process was. Now we found out. Now we know what it is. So, which is also going to help us with our Zone 1 issues, Louise and Sam, so you guys know how this is going on. Okay, that's all. I just wanted to give the clarification, Matt. Sorry about that.
No, I appreciate it, Hans. Also, Marcia, just real quick, I realized that when I had clicked screen sharing, I wasn't able to share over the agenda screen. Is that something that you want to grant me access to just so I can do that, or are we leaving that off for the time being?
Let me see if I still have that ability.
Yeah, you're all set, Matt. Go ahead. I had given it to you, but then you didn't share your screen, so I turned it off. But you're all set.
Okay, that's kind of why it looked like I'm staring up into space, as I've got it on the one that I at least make eye contact with you guys. So any other questions from the board related to item number 3 for Straightway?
Matt, how many properties are you talking about?
Check the exact count on that. I don't have the screen open still. I want to say when I was pulling together the certified mailing list, it was 13 or 14 of them or so.
Okay.
And that includes properties where just even a tiny sliver is being
exactly. Okay.
Matt, out of curiosity, is it just the new relocated Hyannisport, or is it any of the wells as part of that whole project that we have to go out to?
It would be any wells as part of that project if any of them had their 400-foot buffer zones upon replacement impact any private property. So what I mean by that is the Simmons Pond well, even though we're replacing it, we have full control of that 400-foot radius around it. Hyannisport, even replaying with the location a couple of times, there was always going to be some impact to abutting property owners.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
But it also does include straightway as well, because I know there were some homes, some private properties within that 400 feet. Is that also getting letters, or is it just?
So straightway,
so
the two wells, we're rehabbing the existing wells themselves, and we're doing some equipment upgrades to the station. So the original straightway treatment plant, but now it's just
Yeah.
being converted basically to a pump house. We're
Yeah.
doing some equipment upgrades there, but because we're not relocating the wells whatsoever, there's no new impact.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's how we're getting around it. And then we asked Kleinfelder as part of their efforts during design just to identify where we had full control for a replacement straightway well. That way we always kept that portion of the lot free for future use.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. So moving
And also, I'm
along.
really glad that bidding came in where it came in, and I'm really excited that we got to get the money now from town council.
Yep, exactly. So we're halfway there, but at least it was a pleasant surprise. Been a long time since we had one of those. So item number 4, we have the lead service line inventory and replacement plan project. We've also had some movement on this since we last spoke. First and foremost, we had submitted a SRF reimbursement request for the grant money that was allocated to this project by the state. That's been sent off to the SRF office, so we will hopefully be receiving some new funding or some funds back to the town in compliance with that grant. Other than that, we looked through the 2026 Mass DEP IUP listing solicitation, and they are supporting additional grant money for lead service line inventory and replacement plan construction projects. So we've asked Kleinfelder, our consultant on phases 1 and 2 of this project, to prepare the PEF application so that we can go after any available public money for the project and try and get this wrapped up before the 2027 deadline, as far as when some of the more restrictive aspects of the EPA and Mass EPA's next steps of this program come into play.
Okay.
Other than that, we're hoping to have them come out and meet with you for the July meeting and be able to give you a presentation on the phase 2 findings report and give you guys a view of the public mapping tool that they've been working on rolling out with our GIS department. And I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have. Okay. Moving on, we have the Route 28 Yarmouth Road intersection project through Mass DOT. There's no change on this project since we last met. Not much to report for you there. Happy to answer any questions, though, or relay any to Mike, too, who's managing this project. Okay. Same thing for item number 6, the Route 28 East Sewer Expansion Project and Water Main Extension. Still just working through those as-built with the GIS coordinator. Item number 7, we have the Ocean Street Water Main Project. At this time, we don't have much in the way of an update. We did have a couple of new plan details come to light over the last week or so that we're going to be looking at, but otherwise, no substantial change on this project.
Great.
And then number 8, I'm filling in for Tyler, who is at a doctor's appointment for his family right now. So I'm covering down for him. Really, we have a couple of smaller updates on this. Pay rec number 9 has been received by the town. The contractor is working on bringing in power and internet to the new building. He's received word over the last couple of days that this should hopefully be happening either Friday or Monday, and that the internet has already been set up. Other than that, the driveway has been paved. Contract extensions for both the contractor and engineer are currently in review with the town offices. The wellhead's not going to be able to run without all the proper equipment. He's been in contact with Winston Builders about getting the new panel and SCADA equipment. He's got some lead time built into that of 6 to 7 weeks after shop drawings are approved. So right now we're just progressing through getting that order placed and the change order approved through the town. the extent of the delays isn't fully known until after the order has been made, that change order is approved, et cetera. So it's tough to project exactly how long that's going to impact out. But he's going to keep updates to the board as he's able to give them. And
So
then
we won't be up July 4th with
we're
this.
not going to be up July 4th, is what he said. That's 6 to 8 weeks is after the panel order has been placed. So right now that quote's just come back to him this week. So it's a couple weeks away at minimum.
So what happened here? What, because we were doing this really well. Was there something had to be added that we didn't expect? Broken parts?
Hans, are you able to step in here on this one? I know enough, but I don't want to misspeak here.
No, that's fine. Basically, what happened, Sam, is that it's an item that was part of the original plan to take out of the old Meriden 4 building and then reinstall it in the new one.
Yeah.
Come
Yep.
to find out, when push comes to shove, that when we were ready to take it out, it was already gone. It was not there.
That's
So,
right. Yeah.
to be honest with you, I don't know if it ever was there, and I seem to think it was, because the Meriden 4 unit was running. Or maybe because we don't use the Meriden 4 well, because it was under the influence of surface water, we might have cannibalized that part to fix another well somewhere else.
Yeah.
I just cannot remember that anymore. So
That's all
what
right.
that means,
Okay.
what that means now is that all of a sudden we are kind of behind the 8 ball, and we need to basically create a new box and with a
Yep.
lot of very expensive electronics in it.
I remember you spoke about that a couple meetings ago. You had mentioned that, or
Yeah. So it's a
Okay.
not a pleasant thing, but we're just gonna have to deal with it. And the other issue is we cannot really run it without it, because it's kind of the brains of the well,
Yeah.
the well building. So
I think as we learned from a year ago, if you don't have these, you have to have someone there manually doing it, right?
actually, that's not even possible with this piece of equipment. You
Okay.
have to, because this is basically the brains. It talks to everything: the pump, the sensor, the SCADA system that brings in the tank levels, the on off. It deals with everything. So that's the background of it. Okay.
Okay.
So Tyler was able to tell me that based off his discussions with the contractor today, they're going to have a schedule worked up next week, kind of incorporating the delivery dates of this, when they're going to be able to get the additional subcontractors out there to complete the work. But that, unfortunately, the well building won't be ready for the 4th.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, no problem. Is there any other questions on that, or anything that you want me to convey back to Tyler? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on, item number 9, we have the Mary Dunn 16-inch transmission main project being led by me and Mike too. The bid target date's been pushed back until June. We're still targeting to award the project this summer, and then we can begin construction this fall. But Steve Olson from H2 Olson is just still wrapping up the last of the plan and spec documents, and we're still hopefully going to be on track for all that. I'd be happy to answer any questions. Perfect. And then item number 10, the Mary Dunn Tank Number 1 Rehabilitation Project, another one that we've had some movement on over the last month. We've completed our review of the bids and made our recommendation to award the project. We're not going with the low bidder in this case, who was Asher Industrial. We looked through their submitted application, and there were a couple of key submission documents or references that they did not provide or meet specification on. We were a little bit wary. They had great pricing, but unfortunately it wasn't adding up to the amount of work that we were looking to have them complete. So we had some concerns, and we ended up disqualifying them as the low qualified bidder. We moved on to the second lowest, which was dynamic sandblasting and painting. We awarded them. They came back in under our budget. Apex, our consultant, has had some success working with them in the past, so that was nice to get another ringing endorsement. And all of their other contract references came back positive as well. So we felt comfortable awarding it to them and are working with our procurement office to get that paperwork signed and have them ready to go for fall. And then, other than that, Apex, our consultant, is also going to be providing us with a contract amendment to cover the construction admin piece and also for some inspectional services. So we should be all ready to go by this upcoming fall with the project slated to be completed this November.
Awesome.
I'd be happy to answer any questions.
I just want to say, Matt, I think it's great. Obviously we want to, save every dollar we can when we do these projects, but we want them done right. And so, I really appreciate you guys being diligent on that scary low, questionable low bidder to make sure that, were they able to perform, and it looks like we didn't think they really could. So thanks for
Yeah.
making the smart decision, not just the penny wise, pound foolish decision on that.
Yeah, I mean, I love to be responsible with the taxpayers' money, but part of being responsible with it is making sure that you're spending it wisely rather than just spending it cheaply.
Yeah. I really
So,
appreciate that, Matt.
no, appreciate it as well. And any other questions from the members of the board?
No,
Please.
Perfect.
no.
All right.
Well, I hope that you
All
guys are
right.
having a great start to your summer, and hope you have a great rest of your night.
Hey,
Thank you, too.
thanks, Matt.
Okay, next up is additional capital funding request for the new straightway treatment plant. So I'll start this off and then hand over to you, Hans. So we have to go back to town council to get about $11.5 million more of funding for this plant. We waited to do this now because we wanted to make sure we actually had a bids in hand, so we didn't have to go back a third time and ask for money. Obviously, we wish we could have done this for the 35.5 or 36.5 million we asked for initially, but we need some more money. So we got to go back, hat in hand to them and ask for some more money. We have built this into our budget for the next year. So Hans, do you want to provide some more color on this?
Yeah, I can. Most important thing is that Sam, you're absolutely correct. It's built in our rate model. Actually, the 13.6 that we have been talking about last fall was part of our rate model, and not only for coming fiscal year, but also looking ahead about 10 years out. The other good thing is that the bid prices came back actually a little bit lower than we expected. And we were able to build in a reasonable buffer, basically about 10%, so that whatever else is going wrong on large construction projects like these, you never know what can happen. I mean, in the ideal world, everything is going perfect and there's no oopses or no cost increases or anything. But then the practicality is when you have a close to $40-50 million project, things happen and you need to have the availability, the at least the potential for funding whatever comes your way. If we don't use this funding, it will go back into the reserve, or we borrow less, which is most likely the case.
Yeah.
Besides that, the first payment that we got from the 3M lawsuit is part of this. So we immediately, whatever money we get back from the 3M and BASA lawsuits goes right back to fixing the PFAS problem, within the treatment plant. So it's a good thing. Besides that, it's going to take 2 reads by town council to get this passed, and I would love for you guys to, at least if you have a chance, to have a conversation with the counselors, so they're prepared.
Yep.
There is a talk. Carlos Barbosa asked for some talking points, and it's in your package. Okay. And besides that, that's kind of all I have. I can go in all kind of details, but I'm not sure if you guys are interested in all the technical and financial line items. To me, it's very interesting and exciting, but it's probably too geeky. So, anyways.
Yeah. Well, Hans, thank you. Yeah. All I was going to say is we did provide those talking points, and please, sometime between the first and the second read, call your council members and just check in with them and kind of explain why we have to do this and ask if they have any questions. And if you need help, I'm also happy to jump on a call with them. All right. Anything else from the board on this? Questions, concerns? Willing to write a check in place of town council? All right.
Nope.
Not hearing anything else. All right. I'll move on. Operating budget fiscal year 26. Hans?
Hold on. We're going to need a roll call vote to approve it.
Okay. Yep.
Oh.
All right. So we will vote. I'll make a motion to approve the request for an additional $11.5 million in appropriation and loans for the Straightway Water Treatment Facility project. Is that well worded, Hans?
Yes.
Yep.
I second that motion.
All right. I'll do a roll call vote. Tim?
Yes.
Patrick?
Yes.
Louise?
Yes.
And I, Sam Wilson, vote yes as well. I'm also going to be there, Hans. Let us know when the second read is when they vote. I will be there, town council. I think you probably will as well, Louise, to support this.
Yep.
We'll have to do our crafting club in the corner.
Yeah.
26th, I believe, is the first read.
The first read, and then the
Hopefully.
second is.
Oh no, they're saying
July 17th is the second read. That's when
second
the public
read.
hearing.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. I'm going to throw that in my calendar right now.
It's at 6:00.
Yep.
Okay. While I'm doing that, Hans, do you mind talking about the council meeting on next Thursday for FY26 budget?
Yeah, that is basically the usual annual budget vote for our operating budget, which deals with the Veolia contract. It deals with Marcia and my salary. It deals with just the regular operating expenses. We were planning the plan was to have it all together on, I think it was last Thursday, or the Thursday before that, and time just got away. So all the DPW guys were all lined up and waiting all the way till 11, and then we were sent home. So now we're going to come back next Thursday to do the same thing. It's no big deal. It's just part of what we do, and I don't really see any issues with the approval of the operating budget. It's the yearly expenses, which is very different than the capital projects. So those are more bonding and SRF type of projects.
Great. Awesome. Well, Hans, thank you for being there for that. And I'm sorry they're dragging you back again.
It's okay. It's my job.
Yeah. All right. Cons, do you want to talk about state of water supply conservation?
Yeah, I just want to give the board a heads up that even though we had quite some rain, the state still has declared the Cape a level 2 drought. So we're still having to uphold our state of water supply conservation. Everybody else, I think, except maybe, hold on, let me see.
The islands are, according to
Islands are
this,
back in
One,
mild and
they're one.
yes.
Yeah,
The
so
Cape
they're
is the
one and we're
yeah,
two.
and the Cape is the only one that has level 2 drought, so significant drought. So we'll just keep on doing the rain dance, and hopefully it will improve a little bit.
Yeah.
As long as it rains
Yep.
at night and not in the weekend.
Yeah.
That's all I have on that one. We only had one call about the water conservation measures. So we have not really
Well,
had a lot of complaints or negative feedback either way. So
what
okay,
was the call a complaint or was it a
more clarification. They
okay?
didn't understand exactly what that means and how to implement it. So we
Okay.
explained it.
Yeah. Great. Thank you guys for doing that. Any questions from the rest of the board on that?
No, no,
All right.
there's, yeah.
Go ahead, Louise.
No, I was just reading about this drought. There's lots of definitions out there. Remember, I sent you something online
Yeah.
that explained,
Yep.
groundwater drought conditions. And so if people are
Yep.
interested in understanding it, the information is out there.
Awesome. All right, moving along. Water plant tours. Just a quick follow up to this. We had them on June 7th. To be honest, a very, very lackluster turnout. We had one young, very enthusiastic young guy come by tour. He seemed to have a great time. He seemed to love it, but other than that, we had no one there. We'll reconvene this summer and discuss about doing maybe one more in the fall. But if we have another one of this low of a turnout, I don't think it's worth the time for people
Yeah.
to put into this. Especially for you, Hans. I'll make sure it's not in deer season. So yeah, it you know that's that. All right. Anyone questions on that? Comments? Louise, you were there. You want to add anything?
No, I mean, he was very enthusiastic. I wish we had
Yeah.
more,
Yeah.
more like him, but um, it's not to
Yeah.
say that in the future, maybe we could have people sign up and commit, but we'll see. We try.
Yeah. All right. Next up, DFW PFAS meetings. So tomorrow night, DPW is hosting a meeting about us, about PFAS in the Crocker hearing room. That's the main town council room at Town Hall at 7 p.m. about PFAS in our water system. I'm going to be there. I think Louise, you're going to be there. Is
Be
that
there.
right?
Yep.
And Hans,
Yep.
are you getting
Yes,
dragged
I'll
in?
be there. Yeah. No, I'll be there. I volunteered. Um, so, so
Yeah.
either way, it's going to be kind of interesting. You'll this I basically participated in putting the slideshow together. I gave them some
Great.
data. Uh, it's actually going to be kind of interesting because it not only deals with just the PFAS contamination, but also all the different angles from the airport, the angle from the Barnstable County Fire Training Academy, the angle
Yeah.
from Silent Spring. Laura Shader is going to be there with some
Yeah.
updates. So it's actually going to be fairly interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um, Yeah, it was interesting. I was at a event this morning for my office, and we had somebody from the county speaking. I think it was Sanatori, Kirsten Sanatori, and talking about PFAS, and came up a little bit. And we were at the the sewage treatment, the sewage and septic test facility, and so he was quick to point at the airport and didn't really want to talk about the fire training academy about source of PFAS for Yarmouth. So I thought that was interesting to go throw some shade over there.
Yeah, the other interesting part is, and you will see that, is that I guess the Fire Training Academy is changing their name to the former Municipal Fire Training something. So I thought it was kind of interesting that they changed the name.
Warmer?
That's about all.
Okay.
Wash. Sounds like someone trying to wash their hands in a lot of PFAS-related water.
I don't know. I don't know what the reason is, because the reality is they're not doing any fire training there anyways, but you know.
Yep. Awesome. Well, we'll be there. We'll report back next month on it. It'll be I think it'll be a very interesting evening, and thank you for being there, Hans and Louise.
Yep.
Any questions from the rest of the board on that? Anything? So last item matters not reasonably anticipated by the chair. I don't have anything. I did see we have someone from the general public, Daniel Wellington. Do you have anything you wish to ask, discuss?
No, I do not.
Okay, thank you. All right, anything from anyone else on the board?
Nope. I'm all set.
All right.
Yeah, nothing for
Hearing
me.
that, is there good a motion? Do we have to do a motion? Do we have to voice vote for motion to adjourn now? Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn the meeting.
Thank you, Louise. I'll second.
I'll second it. Okay, go ahead.
We'll give it to Patrick.
Okay.
All right. All in favor? Tim,
Aye.
Patrick,
Aye.
Louise.
Aye.
I am I as well. All right. See you guys all next month.